Google recently dropped some interesting news. They are working on what they call low-RAM Google TVs. This isn't just Google going solo, they're teaming up with select TV manufacturers, the OEMs. The main idea here is to bring the Google TV experience to even more people. Shobhana Radhakrishnan, who is a senior director of engineering for TV at Google, confirmed this move. It signals a clear strategy to broaden the reach of their smart TV platform. This could significantly change the entry-level smart TV market landscape in the coming months and years, making smart features less of a premium add-on and more of a standard offering. The biggest goal with these new low-RAM Google TVs is pretty straightforward: affordability. Google wants to make smart TVs more accessible to users who are on a tighter budget. Think about it. Not everyone wants or needs a super high-end television with all the bells and whistles. Many people just want a reliable TV that can stream their favorite shows without breaking the bank. This initiative aims to hit that sweet spot. By reducing the hardware requirements, specifically RAM, manufacturers can produce these TVs at a lower cost, and those savings can then be passed on to the consumer, which is always a welcome development for many households. This move has the potential to really shake up the pricing structure of televisions. For a while now, there's been a noticeable price difference between a dumb TV and a smart TV. These low-RAM Google TVs could help shrink that gap considerably. Imagine walking into a store and finding a Google TV-powered set that's almost as cheap as a basic non-smart model. That's the future Google seems to be aiming for. This would democratize access to smart features like voice control, app stores, and personalized recommendations, bringing them to a wider audience than ever before. It's a significant step towards making smart technology ubiquitous in our living rooms. Another interesting angle here is the potential impact on streaming devices. Many people buy separate TV sticks or boxes, like a Chromecast or a Roku stick, to make their older or non-smart TVs smart. If these new low-RAM Google TVs are priced aggressively enough and perform decently, they could reduce the need for those external devices. You'd get the smarts built right into the TV from the get-go. This simplifies the setup, means one less remote to worry about, and potentially saves a bit of money too. It streamlines the entire entertainment experience, making it more integrated and user-friendly, especially for those less tech-savvy individuals. To understand the significance of low-RAM TVs, we need to look at the previous requirements. For Android TV, the minimum random access memory, or RAM requirement, was reportedly 1.5 gigabytes. Google TV, which is essentially the newer, more refined interface sitting on top of Android TV, aimed a bit higher, with its minimum set at 2 gigabytes. RAM is crucial for multitasking and keeping apps running smoothly. More RAM generally means a snappier experience, especially when switching between different streaming services or using more demanding applications. These baselines were set to ensure a certain level of performance and user satisfaction across devices. Now, with the announcement of these low-RAM Google TVs, there's a clear shift. While exact figures for these new models haven't been officially detailed for every single upcoming TV, reports have suggested that the minimum RAM requirement for Android TV, the underlying operating system, was reduced to 1 gigabyte. This is a significant drop. It's plausible that these new affordable Google TV sets could be targeting that 1 gigabyte RAM mark, or perhaps something like 1.5 gigabytes, which is already seen in some existing budget Google TV devices. This reduction is a key enabler for producing more cost-effective hardware for television manufacturers. It's worth noting that there are already Google TV-powered televisions and set-top boxes available in the market that operate with 1.5 or 2 gigabytes of RAM, so the term low RAM is relative. The new push seems to be about making devices that can function adequately with even less memory than what was previously considered the comfortable minimum for a full Google TV experience. This means Google must be confident in its software optimization to ensure these devices don't just boot up, but actually provide a usable experience for streaming content and navigating the interface without constant frustration for the end user. So, how does less RAM translate to more accessible TVs? It's simple economics. RAM chips cost money. Every gigabyte or even half a gigabyte of RAM adds to the bill of materials for a TV manufacturer. By designing an operating system and an ecosystem that can perform well on less RAM, Google allows OEMs to cut down on component costs. These savings can then be passed on to consumers, making the final retail price of the smart TV lower. This directly addresses the affordability challenge and opens up the smart TV market to a broader segment of the population who might have been priced out before. The biggest question mark hanging over these low-RAM Google TVs is, undoubtedly, performance. Cheaper Android TV and Google TV devices have historically been more prone to performance issues. We've seen it before. Devices with limited RAM and storage can often feel sluggish, with slow app loading times, laggy menu navigation, and even occasional freezes or crashes. This isn't a new concern, but it becomes even more pertinent when you're intentionally pushing the RAM limits downwards. The challenge is to deliver a smooth experience without the cushion of extra memory. There are past examples that fuel this concern. The old Xiaomi Mi TV Stick, for instance, was known to struggle with performance due to its limited hardware specifications, including RAM. Users often reported a less-than-ideal experience. When you have less memory to work with, the system has to be incredibly efficient at managing resources. If it's not, users will feel it immediately. Every tap of the remote, every app launch can become a test of patience. The hope is that Google and the OEMs have learned from these past experiences and are taking proactive steps to avoid repeating those mistakes with this new generation of budget-friendly devices. A poll conducted by Android Authority highlighted existing user frustrations. Among respondents with cheap Google TV devices, a significant 59% reported experiencing performance issues all the time. Another 15% said they encounter these problems now and again. These numbers paint a picture of a user base that is already sensitive to and often affected by performance shortcomings on budget-tier smart TV hardware. This underscores the critical importance of getting the software optimization right on these new low-RAM models. If not, they risk being perceived as just another set of laggy, frustrating gadgets, regardless of the attractive price point. What does laggy performance actually mean for the average user? It means menus that take a few extra seconds to respond to your remote clicks. It means your favorite streaming app like Netflix or Disney Plus might take noticeably longer to load up your profile or start playing a video. Switching between apps could feel choppy and slow. In worst-case scenarios, apps might unexpectedly close or the entire TV interface might become unresponsive, forcing a restart. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They can significantly detract from the enjoyment of using a smart TV, turning a potentially great experience into a daily source of irritation for the consumer. Given the potential pitfalls of low RAM, there's a strong hope and expectation that Google has put considerable effort into optimizing the Google TV operating system specifically for these new, less powerful devices. This isn't just about stripping out features. It's about making the core OS lighter and more efficient in how it uses system resources. Think about smarter memory management, reducing background processes that aren't essential, and perhaps even a more streamlined version of the Google TV interface itself. The goal is to make the system feel responsive, even with limited hardware backing it up. Beyond optimizing the core OS, another crucial piece of the puzzle is app performance. It's not enough for the Google TV interface to be smooth if the apps themselves are slow and clunky. Therefore, it is hoped that Google has actively worked with major streaming app developers, companies like Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, and others, to ensure their applications are also optimized to run well on these low-RAM configurations. This could involve creating leaner versions of their apps or implementing better caching and resource management within the apps, specifically for these budget-tier televisions. Collaboration here is absolutely key to a good user experience. There are several technical approaches Google could be taking. They might be implementing more aggressive background app killing to free up RAM, or perhaps introducing stricter guidelines for app developers on memory usage for apps intended for these devices. We might also see advancements in how Android and Google TV handle cache data to speed up frequently accessed content without overburdening the system's memory. The key is to make the software work smarter, not just harder, to compensate for the hardware limitations. It's a delicate balance between functionality and resource conservation, ensuring the TV remains useful and enjoyable. Ultimately, the success of these low-RAM Google TVs will hinge on whether they can deliver a consistently smooth and reliable user experience. The allure of a lower price point is strong, but if that comes at the cost of daily frustration with lag and unresponsive behavior, then it's a false economy. Google and its OEM partners have a significant challenge ahead, but if they can nail the software optimization and ensure that essential apps perform well, These affordable smart TVs could genuinely democratize quality home entertainment for millions. It's a smart move, but the execution will determine if it's a laggy mess or a budget triumph.